From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, February the 1st, 2017. Israeli security forces came under attack today by Jewish protesters during the evacuation of the Jewish outpost of Amona in the West Bank. As we have been reporting to you, the outpost was deemed illegal by Israel's Supreme Court for being built on private Palestinian land and is set for demolition in a week. The IDF issued eviction notices for the approximate 40 families who live in Amona yesterday. And today, hundreds of Jewish protesters threw glass, rocks, and harmful liquids at Israeli security forces who began carrying out the evacuation. 16 police officers sustained light injuries. About 200 rioting youths were removed from the outpost and 7 individuals were arrested. Israel police released a statement saying that the police are acting with restraint in order to allow those families of settlers who wish to evacuate to do so. However, they said those who abuse this restraint and act violently toward police will be dealt with accordingly. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Israeli Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman announced some new construction plans for about 3,000 homes in a number of Jewish settlements in the West Bank. Some see the announcement as an effort by the Israeli government to calm those who are angered over the Amona evacuation. Speaker of Israel's Knesset Yuli Edelstein arrived in Washington this morning. Edelstein is said to be meeting with U.S. officials and members of Congress from both sides of the aisle, including with his counterpart, House Speaker Paul Ryan, Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Bob Corker, Democratic Party Whip Steny Hoyer, and top Democrat on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Ben Cardin. Before leaving Israel, Edelstein said that he would push for support regarding moving the American embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, as well as on other issues like the Iranian threat. He said, "I plan to discuss with my counterparts strengthening and tightening ties between the two countries, stressing cooperation between the Knesset and the two U.S. Houses of Parliament." Well, Jewish community centers across the United States were once again the targets of false bomb threats yesterday. At least 17 JCCs received threatening phone calls, the third time such calls have been made in the month of January. As we reported to you on January the 18th, 27 JCCs in 17 states received threats, and on January the 9th, 16 centers in 9 states received threats. Director of Strategic Performance at the JCC Association of North America, David Posner, released a statement that said that after being given the all clear, the JCCs were back to normal, albeit with a heightened level of security. Posner said, "We are concerned about the anti-Semitism behind these threats. All threats from the previous 2 dates have been determined to be hoaxes. The FBI is actively investigating the source or sources of these calls. We are relieved," Posner said, "that no one has been harmed and that JCCs continue to operate in a way that puts the safety of their staff, visitors, and premises first." CEO of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, said that while these threats are sadly nothing new, still it is vitally important to take these threats seriously and to ensure that every institution is prepared to respond to this type of security emergency. Just last week, the ADL organized a joint security briefing in partnership with the FBI. Hundreds of representatives of Jewish community institutions took part in the call, which provided expertise and resources to JCCs, Jewish federations, synagogue executives, campus Hillels, and other Jewish communal institutions from across the country. A Palestinian family was recognized for their heroic efforts after a deadly bus crash in the West Bank last week. The Azef family heard a loud noise last Thursday night and ran out into the rain and down a hill to reach the Israeli victims of the bus that had broken through a barrier and gone over the hill. They called police and offered aid to the wounded until Israeli security rescue services arrived and then continued to assist throughout the night. 2 people were killed in the crash. The father of the Azef family said they did not think twice in their response. Jamal Azez said, "We acted because the victims of the bus crash are people. It did not matter that they were Jews. We would have helped anyone." A number of IDF officials have visited the Azef family and presented them with certificates of appreciation on Sunday. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, February the 1st. At 7 o'clock, it's From the Aleph Bet. At 8, director David Novak talks about his documentary Finding Babel with Judy Gelman-Myers on New Jewish Cinema. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with France's leading Jewish intellectual, journalist, and author Bernard-Henri Lévy on L'Chaim. And at 10, the future of Israel is discussed at the AJC's Global Forum. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, it's Thinking Out Loud with Micah Halpern. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, February the 1st, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.